Hello, worldies, and welcome back to my naughty little channel. I hope you're having an amazing day today. Let me know what's on your mind down below, and then I want to introduce today's episode. So, we're going to be starting a new series on the channel, which is going to be called The Psychology of the Big Back. So, this content creator has been coming across my feed a few times, and I can't lie, I really tried to give him a chance, but I just couldn't do it. His content is basically him scoring people who usually look better than him on their diets. So he will do like people who are big like him. He'll do skinny people, he'll do men, he'll do women, and it'll be like rating what so and so eats in a day. You can go find his content to look through it. But from my assessment of it, my biggest issue is that I've noticed a trend where he typically praises fat people for their diets, but he judges skinny people. It's always like, you can eat some more, you can eat some more. That's not enough calories. And it's like, a little TikTok is not going to tell you what somebody's health goals are. Like, I hate when people act like skinny people, like, she looks like that because she eats like a skinny person. And I'm just going to assume that she wants to continue looking like a skinny person and not looking large like you. And so that's why she's eating her plate with her amount of calories and not your plate with your amount of calories. Like when it comes to thinner people, there are different types. Some people are thin and insecure about it. So they actually don't need somebody who looks like this man to make a video talking about their diets and their bodies. I don't like how their whole body positivity movement seems to only go one way. It's just like how unambiguous Black women will always commend or they'll command people to stay out of Black women's business, yet they have an entire video trend, which is getting into the business of exoticals, the preference to baby mama pipeline, that's getting into exoticals dating relationship business, their in between their legs business, into their womb business. They're all up in exoticals business, but it's only supposed to be one way, according to them. To me, I feel like they should go both ways. Don't throw rocks and hide your hands. How comfortable are you to look like that and have comments on other people, but let it be the other way around? All of a sudden, they're crying fat phobia. Imagine if a thin exotical were to pull up a video of this man showing what he eats in a day and critiquing him the same way he does to people and saying what he's saying to skinny people. Oh, that's not enough calories. What if we were to make a video and say, that's enough calories, dude? Are you not noticing the trend that the amount of calories that you're eating is making you the size that you are? And obviously, you want to be in the fitness niche. So maybe, just maybe, you might want to work on having a body that people might find aspirational, right? No, that would be fat phobia, right? We couldn't say that. We couldn't dish out exactly what he's saying to people. So how can you tell somebody, oh, you need more calories, but you can't tell somebody, I think that's enough calories. I think you should stop stuffing your mouth now, right? I just feel like that's funny. Not every thin person wants to put on muscle or bulk and gain weight. Surprise, surprise. There are some thin people who are actually fine with their bodies. And so on a daily basis, they just eat their maintenance calories because they want to maintain their thinness. Their plate looks like the plate of someone with their body. They would like to maintain it. They're fine. They have been very body positive and they have accepted their skinny body, their thin body. That's the body they want. This content creator seems to always be like, oh, that's not enough protein. That's not enough this, etc. And it's like, for who? For who? People will make videos talking about intuitive eating when they're fat and they just set up their camera to eat every single time they feel hungry. Some thin people are that size because they eat intuitively too. They're only eating when they feel hungry. And because they're not a big back like you, they don't feel as hungry as often as you do. So how can you just assume that somebody else is not eating intuitively just because they don't have a pack of hot dogs on the back of their neck? I think that that's insane. And I think that that is like skinny shaming. That's skinny shaming. To anyone who's ever tried to gain muscle, you may have tried the bulking method. Like me, I've lifted before, I've bulked and cut and stuff. So I actually know what this feels like. This involves eating the calories required to gain weight and lifting heavy and focusing on shorter reps at a higher weight, stuff like that. And if you ever tried that, you're likely familiar with the discomfort of eating more food than you're used to. Like when you're trying to do that, sometimes a girl's like, oh, I'm trying to get more muscle, or maybe she's trying to like add more mass to her booty. And instead of doing like a body recomp where she's like trying to burn fat and gain muscle at the same time, she might be like, okay, I'm just trying to put on weight. Sometimes people will clean bulk, like with clean whole foods. Sometimes they're dirty bulking and they're just eating. I think I see a lot of guys who dirty bulk, some girls dirty bulk too. But that's uncomfortable trying to eat like that. Like when you're bulking, you're not eating intuitively. And so, I just feel like with something like that, can you imagine if one of these thin women he's making these videos about were to clap back and say, oh, thanks for the advice, but I'm not trying to have a big back like you. This made me think about how I've actually noticed fat people doing this in real life. That's what kind of inspired this whole episode and made me want to get into the psychology of the big back. 2 times recently, actually, with 2 different fat women, they brought up the topic of salad dressing to try and prove that they were like so healthy and how other people were not as healthy as them because they don't eat like them. So like, let me tell you, quick story time. The first situation, it was a woman who was older than me. She's like maybe mid to late 30s. And she's like a very homely looking obese woman. Like she's nice, but she's very obese. Her hair is like, very unkempt and stuff. She never wears makeup. I think I've seen her with nail polish on like one time. It wasn't like acrylics or gel or anything. It was just like she wears like t-shirts and jeans. I've never seen her in like a skirt or a dress. And it's like printed t-shirts. It's not like she's not a fashionista, okay? I can wear the most basic thing and I'm always going to look overdressed next to her. So that's just context for this woman. I like her. She's fine. We're not friends. We're just like associates. But we were cleaning up after this luncheon that we both attended. And for reference, I was just how I usually am for events like that. So think like girly, business casual, that type of thing. Think like Elle Woods or Hillary from Fresh Prince. That's my style. So especially for an event like that. So me and that girl, we had at that time, we'd been to a few of these events at the same time, and I knew I wasn't overdressed. She was underdressed. Like, I'm the type of person where, yes, I have been overdressed before, but especially when I've been to an event a few times, then I'm like, in general, I'm not, just because you want to wear a printed tee and you want to, like, I'm not going to dress like a bum because you want to dress like a bum. Like, you're not going to control me. So I wasn't overdressed. She was underdressed. I just feel like at this point, like as I'm thinking about it, I felt like she was giving me a weird look at that point. And I was confused because we had crossed paths. And at that point, it's like, girl, we done been to these same events together multiple times. I'm going to be dressed like this every time you see me, love. Like, I don't know why I feel as if some women, they almost want to try to bully you into dressing down or into putting less effort in. Or if they see that you don't feel insecure about being seen, they'll just think you're weird or unrelatable, which is honestly fine with me. I don't owe anybody my relatability, so that's fine. But we were both cleaning up and she's like, why world, do you want this ranch dressing to bring home? And I'm like, oh, no, thank you. And so she launches into this long old speech about how she doesn't eat ranch dressing anymore and how many people are making terrible choices when they eat it and they don't know how many calories are hidden in it and blah, blah, blah. So automatically I'm just sitting there scratching my chin and I'm like, why are we talking about salad dressing? And for reference, I'm pretty curvy. I'm like a size 6 to 8. But like because of my shape, it depends on if something will fit my butt, my waist, and my hips all at the same time. And this woman was at least like a size 18, I would guess, to be honest. I've never gotten as big as that to even know what the sizes look like at that size. I don't know if like that would be like, oh, she's a size 32. Like, I don't know. I just knew that she was bigger than sizes that I know. But it was like she was subliminally trying to prove a point because in that area and kind of at the luncheon in general, I was the thin girl, which is really saying something. If you're like a size 6 and you're the thin girl in the room, that's saying something. But I was also like, you just dropped a diss track on ranch dressing and then tried to send it home with me. So, like, it's just little weird stuff like that stick in my mind. And I'm like, what? Like, I'd really love to get into the psychology of a big back to be like, why? Why? I don't understand that whole situation that happened. But then more recently, um, there's a big back at my job. And she starts this conversation with me about none other than, you guessed it, salad dressing. I don't know what it is. Um, I find that when you're the thin girl, it's like sometimes big backs, they like want to discuss health with you because they kind of like want to pick your brain, like just from the way that, like, okay, if she's a size 32 and you're a size 6, because she has hierarchy thinking, you're already outslaying her just by, not starting a fire between your thighs every time you walk a few feet. So to her, you're already like above her. But she's like trying to figure out if she can find something that she feels like that you do unhealthy, or to try to prove that she knows something about health. And it's like, in general, you don't have to prove nothing to me, mama. If I know that I would not trade bodies with you, I don't have no questions for you about salad dressing, about setups, about pull-ups, about the treadmill, about intermittent fasting, about calories, about the food pyramid. I have no questions for you if I don't want your body. Or at least if I would be depressed if I had your body, then I don't want. Because, like, okay, in the pretty girl, like in our Exotical Patreon, or what, in our Discord, or our Discord, we talk about stuff like that all the time. And it might be another girl where it's like, I don't necessarily want her body, but I wouldn't be depressed if I had her body, because over here in these exotical streets, we look good. So with this girl, it's like literally, or like this woman at my job, it's like I'd literally, like, I don't know, you'd have to throw me in a straitjacket and like break my neck or something and give me some liquid food or something, because I don't know what I would do if I just woke up and I was in her body. I literally could not imagine. But as I'm thinking about this, I'm like, first of all, okay, this whole salad dressing thing, this lady at my job, she's brought this up twice to me. I'm just realizing that. Like, she might not have the best memory because she's like in her 60s and eating all this freaking food gives you brain fog and stuff. But like I've said before, in like, okay, I've said before in real life, like the people that I've eaten around, that I like sauces. Like, I love making a homemade sauce or a marinade or like a salad dressing. Um, I just don't like dry food either. So, anyways, this lady, she just starts going off about how her son uses a lot of dressing on his salads and basically trying to make it seem like she is this health influencer and her son is just this fat slob. And in my head, I'm like, well, he likely learned how to be fat from you because you're right in front of me and you are fat and I've seen your son. And he's literally the same size as her, which, for reference, she is really short and really fat. But her son is so much taller than her that at least he looks better because he looks slimmer and more proportionate, because he looks like he's the same weight as her, but he's more slimmed out with it. But she literally even asked me, oh, how do you like your salads? After she just tried to put down something that, like, I had already talked about doing. I already talked about liking salad. If you pay attention, I like salad. I like dressings. I like sauces. But, like, why are you trying to, like, that's how you know you're the pretty girl. People are literally trying to figure out if you like salad dressing and how much salad dressing you like and what kind of like, it's so freaking weird. Like, I don't give not one flying fugazi how people feel about meat and sauce, because meat and sauce go together. And personally, at the end of the day, I know portion control and I get up and I exercise. And with this lady, I'm like 150 to 200 pounds smaller than you. Why are you dressing watching, you freaking weirdo? Instead of pocket watching, some people are out here privilege watching, they're dressing watching. It's just so weird. But have you ever noticed how when you're the pretty girl, sometimes fat people want to talk health, like they want to talk health with you? Or how much they're always concerned for someone eating too little, but never for someone eating too much? What about how they show us time and time again that their so called body positivity movement is a sham and it's instead a fat positivity movement? Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, worldies, eyes on the prize.